वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्य माव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्धियं येन्द्रियाग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्मा परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः। मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते जयः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगै मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि नाशोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिरमौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना भक्तास्तेऽतीव मे प्रियः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता सूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन संवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् श्री कृष्ण परमस्तु शुभं भूयात् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Can you allow the screen sharing, Vilaji?
Yeah, asking the Amon to set it. Hello, Amon, please set the, okay, multiple sharing, okay. Yeah, it's at the sharing. We just go to the sharing and then set multiple sharing. Can you get it? Can you get it?
Yes.
Now can share? Otherwise, okay.
Yeah, it is there now. It is there. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Lovely. Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday program. Let me begin with my prayer as usual, with Gurudev's Dasna and praying him for him. Akhandamandalakaram vyaptum yena characharam Tatpadam darsitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanajansalakaya Chakshuranmiritam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Vasudeva Sudam Devam, Kansachanuramardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear friends, devotee of Bhagavad Gita, devotee of Gurudev, it's a real blessing for us that we have started this Thursday Guru Wars program. And thanks goes to Thailand, to Swami Geeta Kiran, whose website is blessing us every Thursday. We have been talking about Bhagavad Gita, and dear friends, let me tell you, every verse of Bhagavad Gita is an ocean of jewels, every verse. It can be stated very simply, it can be meditated upon, it can be discussed, yet one is not satisfied that you have gotten enough of it. So I will go back to some previous verses that I have been known to be frequently using. Well, I do see there is lots of gyan or divine knowledge in there. This verse is again chapter 2:16. That was first brought out by Swami Sarvapriyananji of Vedanta Society of New York. He believes, most people in Vedanta Society believes in Advaita concept of Vedanta. Advaita means there's only one, there's nothing else, there's no other. And I have been meditating upon it and reading also. So I thought I should bring it again today. And let me read the first line. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. Talking about something, truth versus not truth. Truth means something that you can hang on to and be successful. Asat is changing every moment. And our irony, friends, is we are in this Mayavi Jagat. It's the Kandi Asat, which is changing every moment of our life. We make commitment, that commitment slips away because we think I can do that thing every moment because that moment is not in our hand, so things keep getting slipping. And that is called Maya. In this Maya that we are in, everything that these five instruments that God has given us, eyes, nose, hearing, taste, touch, we are part of Maya. So now we are criticizing Maya, which is asat, which is not fair. Maya is also created by the Lord Almighty Sri Krishna. So we have to find some way to be friendly with Maya and then get back to the Sat, who created the Maya. So Maya is created by Purushottam, the ultimate, and he has also created us. So in verse 18th of second chapter, it says clearly only the material body is perishable. They are talking about human body or any body. The embodied soul within is indestructible. So within everybody which is indestructible is such. That's permanent. cannot be measured, and it is eternal. Therefore, he tells Arjuna, O descendant of Bharat, go and fight. This was the verse given when Arjuna decided not to fight because he didn't want to create a ton of sin by his acts. So now, this Maya, I will be talking more about it. And I want to impress upon this Maya is our good friend, and we should know the art of dealing with this Maya. In the second chapter, a very powerful, very powerful verse 45, in which Lord Krishna tells Vedas talk about three gunas, Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. That's what Vedas are talking. But Arjuna, Nista Gunya Bhavardhana, Arjuna go transcend these three gunas. Means whatever Vedas says, go beyond it. Nirtvando, get out of this raga and dvesh, good and bad, positive, negative. And even don't worry about yoga kshema, asking for. Reading this translation, the Vedas deal with the three modes of material nature. Remember, Vedas are the ultimate wisdom gyan given to mankind. And Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, rise above these three modes of living to the state of pure spiritual consciousness. Freeing yourself from duality eternally. Fixed in truth and without concern for material gain and safety, be situated in the self. Sri Krishna is telling, get into yourself. Now he's talking about the Atma, the soul. And one thing that happens is that once you are convinced totally, of course we are, whatever Gita says, whatever Sri Krishna says, we believe it and try to understand. But the level of understanding, the degree of understanding is so much varying that what you think, what I think, what anybody thinks can be drastically different. So the self is to be understood, and that's what Sri Krishna is telling. And this particular verse has been taken up by Arjuna at the end when he talks about Nasto Moha Spiritual. But then also a verse 52 comes, very interesting. Yada te moha kaliram buddhi ya paritishyati sada kantansi nirvedam srota vyasya srutu srutasya cha. And this verse says, when you cross the mire of delusion, when you cross the three gunya Vishya Veda, when you cross them and situate yourself in your soul, and you get the feeling that you are soul. Body may be yours, your hand may be yours, your eyes may be yours, but you are not the body, you are not the eye. It may be yours, like a car can be yours, but you are not the car. So once you are sure and firm, then something happens. When you cross this illusion, then your vision becomes different. Your third eye opens up with the grace of Lord Krishna. And then, whatever you have heard about this Maya, you say, clean it up. Done. It was okay, no good. And also when we talk on the Maya, we think, he doesn't take it that way. Now he starts to live indifferently than most people who are involved, dissolved into the Mayavi life. Very powerful verse is the 52nd verse. Everybody should read more about it. Once you cross the mile of delusion, what is the delusion? That we are body. Our knowledge is we are soul, we are Atma. Ever present. It was there before when Sri Krishna says, I don't remember. I and you were there in your past life. I remember it. And in next life also, I will know you. Idea is that your soul is same. Last birth, birth before that, and next birth. It's going to be same. Make a different shape, different memory, but same thing. And that's what that particular verse means. Lord Krishna, God will know you after this life. And he knows all the past lives. He knows he was with us. So, next verse that I take is 11th chapter, last couple of verses. Why these two verses are important to us? It's a Vishwarup lesson where Arjun gets thrilled and says, I cannot see that vision that you have. Bring me back to your glorious Chaturabhuj darshan. And he does. And Sri Krishna tells him that that darshan can only be seen by my devotees. And not by the Pandits of Vedas. Give me a second. Pandits of Vedas or Jnani or whatnot. It cannot be seen by the stage of Vedas, nor by penance, charity, or fire sacrifice. I cannot be seen as you have seen me. Because he has been given the title of a devotee. And when you become devotee, there is nothing more dear to the God as a devotee. And then Arjun asked, what are devotees? Who is devotee? And then begins our very popular Bhakti Yoga, the 12th chapter, in which Sri Krishna tells who is a good devotee. And we all know what chapter 12 is, the Bhakti Yoga. But there is something before he talks about bhakta and his gunas and all those things. He makes certain background. ये त्वक्षरमण्य देशम अव्यक्तम परिभाषते सर्वत्र गमचिंत्यम च कुशस्व मधुरम दुवम सन्नियम इंद्रिय ग्रामम सर्वत्र समबुद्धय ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूत हिते रसा. Listen carefully, but those who worship the formless aspect of the absolute truth, formless, afterwards he talks about the form, the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifest, the all-pervading, the unthinkable, the unchanging, the eternal and the immovable, by restraining their senses and being even-minded devotees, such person engaged in the welfare of all beings also attains me. So before he tells about worshipping him, the form worshipping, he makes this statement. And that is kind of Advait statement. Then he goes on and says what you should do, how should you do. Advaita Sarvabhutanam, give me your mind, give me your intellect, and all those things, and how to do it, and practice it, do it for me, and all those good things, making it easier that we have discussed before. So this I brought this word because he's now talking a subtle background, that I can also be reached through Advait reading. And he makes it again some clarification in 15th chapter. Dvavimo purso loke kshaksar evacha sarasarvani bhutani kusasoksar uchate. Friends, you will find that sometimes my speech gets distorted because of my ill-fitted parcel, so please forgive me for that. It says there are two kinds of beings in creation. Sir, perishable. Again, remember I talked before, perishable. Anything that is in Maya is perishable. And Aksar, which is imperishable, which is you are, the Atma. The perishable are all beings in the material realm. The imperishable are the liberated beings. The Atma is liberated, but it is enveloped with so many karmas that we cannot see through. And Bhagavad Gita is a wonderful scripture coming from Upanishad, wonderful, that it can remove many layers of impurities. Consider like a mirror that you see. If mirror is not clean, you don't see your picture clear. And simple example is that once it is clear, you can see clearly how you look like. So many weeks before we kept talking about vasanas. Our soul is covered with vasana and keeps taking birth after birth after birth and many births. And today we are products of that soul which is fully affected, covered by vasanas. Many different levels of karmas, sattva karma, rajagun karma, tamagun karma. So soul is yet pure, but it is enveloped with many blankets of Kam, Krodh, Lobha, and Mad. So it becomes very hard. And since we are so enriched with Kam, Krodh, Lobha, and Mad, it's very hard to get away from it. That is our fundamental build-up. A Kshatriya becomes valiant, a Brahman becomes teacher, a Vaishya becomes businessman, Shudra becomes a serviceman. All are good, but they're all because of their vasanas that they have done in their past life. So Bhagavad Gita also tells in one of the chapters to realize yourself to be pure soul, these four varnas don't mean much. You can still reach to the God by doing certain practices. And practices are given with the grace of your Guru. When he gives you the mantra, initiation, then your life begins second time within this life. They say your real birthday is the day when Guru gives you the mantra. Because Guru has given you his tapasya, a little gange into you, and then your life surely changes. It depends on your shraddha, depends on your how powerful your vasanas have been. You keep moving. And most of us that I know have been so fortunate that they have learned that this could be the life we will be able to know who we are. And we can say, I am that. That's what main priest of this our time, Raman Rishi, has done. And he has been so clear about it. And there are many more coming from Maharashtra area. And I try to read their books and see that there are certain human beings which go beyond being human. Their name can give you light. Their company can give you the confidence and strength that we all have felt with the presence of Gurudev. And we all have the same thing in us. All we have to do is to go forward on chapter 12 and do the simple practices of Bhakti Yoga. Very, very simple. Advaita Sarvabhutanam, Maitri Karuna, and so on and so forth. But at the end, Sri Krishna says, Ye tu dharmya matamidam yatoktam paripasate shraddhadana mat parma bhaktastheti umepriya. Anyone who can practice those things with full shraddha and faith in me, they are very dear to me. And when the Lord says they are very dear to me, He means it. So shraddha has to be there. We all have shraddha. We are all very, very fortunate. At this moment, I will again talk about Maya. We have to live in Maya, and most of the time people talk about Maya, this material world. It is bad. हम इसके अंदर फंस गए हैं. Maya has gotten us. I cannot get out of it. But my dear friends, Maya is our best friend if you can understand Maya. And of course, it can be your bad enemy if you understand it differently, wrongly. So Maya is the one that we live in. Physical is all in Maya. We use the Maya. We use the mantras. We use the Guru. In the same Maya, we use Bhagavad Gita and go on getting us better and better. And as Gurudev used to say, there may be many stars in the sky and you can count them. There can be many jewels in the ocean and man can count them. But how many jewels are in Bhagavad Gita? Nobody has been able to count them, and nobody will be able to count in future. Imagine the power of Bhagavad Gita. So whenever we talked about something about Bhagavad Gita, the same verse you can talk differently, and yet someone else can talk differently, and all are beautiful and valid and powerful. That is Bhagavad Gita. And we are also very, very fortunate to be talking about it. We meet every Thursday. Very, very fortunate. So Maya, again, let us feel very comfortable with this Maya without getting attached to it. Enjoy this world, enjoy the sun, enjoy the moon, enjoy the vegetations, enjoy the beautiful dog, cats, and animals, and of course, try to see the reflection of God in all the humans and creatures. One more time, I was listening to some enlightened person. All of us human beings, we want one thing. We all want to be happy. We want to be happy forever. And we know it's not possible because the way we are. So he gave an example. When do you get unhappy? Well, If you lose some of your earned money, finances, you get sad, you get unhappy. When you lose some health, you become sick. You lose some fundamental organ, you feel unhappy. When you lose some of your very close, near, you feel unhappy. It's very fundamental. Everyone goes through it. But if you understand this very clearly, it's all created by the same Purushottam. So, if we believe in it, all belongs to Him. You belong to Him. Your work efforts, results belong to Him. Remember, Karmanyevadika. The family that you have belongs to Him. Your physical being also belongs to Him. He gave us this body and He will one day take it. So, if you can convince yourself that all belongs to Him, then you have no reason to feel sad for losing anything because you never had one, so you never lost one. If you never lost one, there is no way you will be unhappy. So, everything belongs to our Creator. Every moment is created by Him. And if something is taken away, He took His things. Nothing belongs to us. So we never lost anything. So if we did not lose anything, there is no ground or reason to believe that we should be unhappy. As I mentioned, we feel unhappy only when we feel that we lost something, money, relatives, health. But if it is not ours, it was His. He's going to maintain it, He's going to manage it, and He gave us, He took it, not my problem. If a bank is robbed somewhere in a city, it was not your money, so you could care less. You go deeper down and say, if same way everything is not yours and something is given away or taken away, you must have the practice to learn same way. And from that moment, remember I talked about verse earlier from second chapter. Yadate moha kalinam. When you cross that maya of delusion, that everything belongs to Him. Deen Bandhu Dinanath made glory tere haath. God, everything is yours, nothing is mine. So I have no reason to feel sad if something is taken away. It was yours, you took it. And you will, and it will be. So when that state happens to us, then your living is different. Then sometimes you feel some chamatkars, some miracles happen in one's life. That's the time it happens when you believe that this Atma is created by Him and I have cleaned it enough that He will come and say, come on, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Now Arjuna is same as Krishna. At that time, miracles happen in life that we see. And when things happen, you live in a different world. Your mind is different. You live in the different world altogether. What you want happens by itself. What you give to somebody, they get it by itself. We hear all the time these miracles happen with great masters. They have crossed the mile of delusion. And our goal, my dear friends, is how can we cross that delusion? How can we cross from Dvaita? How can we understand Advaita, like Raman Rishi, Ramakrishna Paramhans, Sankaracharya? Remember Sankaracharya, the famous bhajan, I am neither father, nor son, nor wife, nor husband, nor teacher, nor guru, nothing. I am Siddhananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. So when you cross the mile of delusion, then you live like Siddhanand. We are all trying, or at the end, I want to simply thank to dear Brother Peter, very dear respected Swami Geeta Kiran ji, Dr. Prasad ji, that we talk about this. And talking, this is shown that we will become a very precious diamond one day by talking about this wonderful scripture of Bhagavad Gita. At this time, I want to thank Gurudev again with us. We always seek his blessings, and we get his blessings every moment of our life. And at that moment, I request Dr. Prasadji, I've taken more time again as Kapoor Sahib was not here. So you will have a good time, more than half an hour, Dr. Prasadji. So please give us your blessing. We always wait. As I tell every time, and when Dr. Prasad comes, we feel students and he gets the respect of teacher and professor. And one more thing I want to talk about is Dr. Prasad writes articles in Guru Prasad, and he writes Hindi and very beautiful. And one of the, if you don't get the Guru Prasad, please let Peterji or me know. We will send you, or you can call Gita Ashram Delhi headquarters, and they will send you the PDF copy of that. And one of the articles that I read was on Panchakos. And this human body has 5 further bodies. Annamaya, Manomaya, Jnanmaya, Vijnanmaya, Anandmaya. Read those and try to get and live in Jnanmaya course. And then see the beauty of living. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. You are wonderful, giving us all the wonderful, wonderful faces. Now it's all yours. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. Very nice words have spoken, and the beautiful way you have explained the role of Maya and that of Bhagwan, Dvait and Advait. It is a deep, very deep subject. You can keep on talking, keep on talking. More importantly is to see how much we can understand within ourselves. Mananam. So sit down, spare some time, say about 15 minutes or so every day, just to think on whatever is we have learned, whatever we have understood, whatever we have been able to grasp, just to meditate on that, think on that, concentrate on that. Go back to the Gita again, look at the various commentaries by scholars, and imbibe more of jnana, that jnana is moksha. In this article, which Joshi ji has been referring to in Guru Prasad, there is write-up, small write-up by Gurudev Maharaj. Moksha hi, jnana hi moksha hai. Moksha hi jnana hai. Itna sundar unhone likha hai. Worth reading those things. They are gems. Now let me start what I have to say about verse of today. But before that, prayer to Bhagwan. Vansi vibhushita karan navanirdabha pitambara Darunavim Vapaladharosta Purnendu Sundaramukha Arvindanetra Krishna Param Kimapi Tattvamaham Najane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna to all divine souls, all Gita devotees. We have covered up to verse 12 of chapter 4, and we're starting today understanding what is given in verse 13 of chapter 4. As Sri Joshi ji has mentioned, each and every verse, not verse, word of Bhagavad Gita is loaded gem. So much information, so much of things packed in each word of Bhagavad Gita. You feel so elated when you are able to understand them. This verse, something has been mentioned about the system or the arrangement of society, arrangement of jati dharma, arrangement of varnasrama, arrangement of kula dharma. All these things have been packed in this verse. Here, let us start. The verse is Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha Tasya Kartaramapi Mam Vidya Kartaramavyayam. Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam. I created the fourfold order. Fourfold order has been created by me. Guna, karma, vibhagasa, according to the division of guna and karma. That's the first line. Plain and simple meaning is this. The second line, tasya kartaram api mam. I am its creator. Api, even though I am the creator of that, vidya, you know me, akartaram abhyayam. Know me as immutable, non-doer, abhyayam. This is, nothing is lost. Complete remains purna. That is abhyayam. And he, Bhagavan, says he is non-doer. I will come to each word of them slowly. Let us look at the word Chatur Varnyam. When he says Chatur Varnyam, there are two words in this. It's Chatur and Varnyam. Chatu means four. Chatu is four, very simple. And Varnyam is Varna, that is color or caste or either of them. I am not going to go at the various thoughts people have talked about all these. Just slowly and slowly, let us see what it means. Simply means there are four varna, four caste. There are four category of people. In this verse, though Bhagavan has not mentioned what are those four castes or four varna, but he has mentioned that in chapter 18. In fact, in chapter 18, from verse 41 to 44, the description of all those four categories, four varna, has been very clearly and explicitly mentioned. I will not go at the moment in that. Just to take question of four four order. What are these? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visham, Sudranam cha param tapa. These are the four category of people: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. And look at the beauty of this verse. Guna karma vibhagasa, which is mentioned here, is also beautifully put in this verse also, which is the 41st verse of chapter 18. Karmani prabhivakthani swabhava prabhavair gunai. These are the distribution is made according to the duties, according to the qualities born of their nature. So the duties of these four varna is not because of something else, but because of the qualities born. Swabhava, you see this swabhava word has been repeatedly mentioned in all these four verses when it talks of various categories of people, division of those according to the varna. Now, so Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, and Sudras, they are divided. These are the four categories, and the division is made according to the qualities and karma, according to the guna and karma. Now let us see how Lord talks about the guna and karma, and subsequently he repeats that. Before coming to this verse, he has already mentioned the division of four varnas and kula and jati. Not only Bhagwan Sri Krishna mentions here, Arjuna already has mentioned this in verse 1 when he talks in verse 43. Dose raitai kulagnanam varna sankarkarakai utasajante jati dharma kula dharmascha saswata. You know, from verse 38 onwards, in fact, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, in all these verses, Arjuna has started to talk about the disruption in the society. What will happen after all the soldiers, armies, and those people engaged in war will be killed? He is trying to convince Bhagavan that we should stop the war. We should not allow the war to happen because so many things will take place. And one series of arguments, one after another, Arjuna is giving to Bhagavan that these people will die. When they will be killed, then there will be a big vacuum. The men folks particularly will be all lost. The ladies, character will be spoiled. There will be mixture of castes and people will be all doing all wrong things. So Varna Sankar will get born, will get in society will be spoiled. So he's using his argument to tell Bhagavan that the system which is existing. So what I'm trying to pinpoint here, that even Arjuna is trying to present to Bhagavan that there will be disruption in the society because there will be some problem with the Varna Sankara, the Jati Dharma. The Jati Dharma is there, Kula Dharma is there. So the Kula Dharma, that is the family, Kula Dharma is Kula. You see, Kula word in these 6 verses, 8 times the word Kul appears. If you go into the verses, you'll find Kula, Kula, Kula. So it has been mentioned that there existed this family system, the caste system, family system, Varna system. So that system existed at that time, and they were at risk of getting destroyed, and problem of disruption will take place. In chapter 2, Arjuna was told by Bhagavan that your dharma is Kshatriya dharma. So that is the first time when Lord is mentioning about jati or the varna of Arjuna to be Kshatriya, that you belong to Kshatriya dharma, swadharmam api chaveksha na vikambitum arhasi dharmadhi yuddhachreyan anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. That you belong to the Kshatriya dharma, and as such, considering your swadharma, you should also not run away from the war. You should not also get any fear or scared of it. So what I'm trying to put before you is there did exist this family system, the Kula system, caste system, and they were in a way that Bhagavan says is because they were divided according to their guna and their karma. I also came across somewhere that they talk of animal and birds also having this 4 class. It says they talk about, maybe you may feel amused, but this is just a reference somewhere mentioned. Pigeon is Brahman, hawk is Kshatriya, eagle is Vaishya, crow is Sudra. In plant, people is said to be Brahman, neem is said to be Kshatriya, tamarind is supposed to be Vaishya, and cactus Sudra. Anyway, it has its own, just to take it or leave it, doesn't matter. Now, the most important thing is people have used, there was a period when people used this to say what Bhagavan had did. He had divided people in these 4 castes, and so there are so many problems are happening. So without realizing that Bhagavan, without taking into consideration the whole verse, they will just say Chatur Varnyam Maya system. Stop. That Bhagavan has created these 4 creations. Okay, that's okay. But they do not carry forward further and say that it has been done depending upon the guna and karma. If that these are the 2 riders for the creation of society, there is division of work according to the quality of the individual, according to the capability of the individual, according to swabhava of that individual. They have been given responsibility to carry on certain functions, and that function which he carries has got a name. So that was the way society was divided upon. But there was a period when it is said that this was a way to criticize among a group of people who used it to criticize the system. But I can tell you, the way Bhagavan has done, we have to understand that very clearly. Not only that, even this is not based on birth. The whole question is whether a Brahman son will be Brahman, or Kshatriya son will be Kshatriya, or Sudra son will remain Sudra all the time. So that is the big issue which this verse clearly refutes. It is not by birth that somebody is Brahman. It is by their guna and by karma. Even at that time, you know, Vibhishan, Ravan, and Kumbhakaran, they were sons of same parent. Father was Vivasra and mother was Kasi. These were the parents, and Vibhishan was predominantly Sattvic. He has a Brahman trait. Ravana was predominantly Rajasic. So he had Kshatriya trait. On the other hand, Kumbhakaran, who would sleep for 6 months, he was predominantly Tamasic, and that was a Sudra trait. That means even at that time, at the time of Ramayana in Treta Yuga, even at that time, the 3 sons of same parent had different traits, and they were not all of them same trait. They could be varying. Also, there is a mention of one son of Dhritarashtra, and he was not like other 199 brothers of Duryodhana. All the other brothers were Rajasic and Tamasic. On the other hand, one of them, his name was Vikarna. This Vikarna fellow was Sattvic fellow. He was Sattvic trait he had, and he was always engaged in pious activities. A conversation between Vikrama and Bhim took place in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Vikarna tells the Bhim, well, Bhim, that was my duty then, and this is my duty now. I am in the battlefield because of the family that needs me to come in the battle, and I have come in. That duty, pious duty which I was performing in the past, is no more at the moment. I am here fighting the war. So fight me, O son of Vayu, that is Bhima, fight me. Following this dialogue, Bhim killed Vikarna in a mace fight, and he later lamented, and he mentions, alas, O Vikarna, you were just and knew what was dharma. You fought in loyal obedience to the call of duty. Indeed, this battle is a curse upon us, wherein men like you have had to be slaughtered. See, what I'm trying to get at, that in those days, parents, same parent, out of same parent, all children were not having the same caste or same in the same category. This Vikarna was a pious man. So what is important? It is important is guna karma vibhag. Now, what is this guna karma vibhag? Let us look at this guna karma vibhag. Bhagwan has mentioned in chapter 3, we have gone through that. Tattvittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayo. He has mentioned here also. Guna gunesu vartante iti matva nasajjate. He who knows about the sphere of guna and action, guna affects the guna, they have got proportions. Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, they are in varied proportion. And depending on the proportion, if you want to understand the composition of the gunas and their activities, they do not get attached to this word. Lord also mentioned Trayaguna Vishya Veda, just Josiji has mentioned about that Veda has talked about 3 gunas, and also mentioned, Bhagavan says that Nistrayagunyum Havarjuna, you get out of these gunas. So the guna has been talked about in these things. But these 3 gunas have been very extensively dealt with in one chapter, totally dedicated to talk about this guna. Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, that is chapter 14. Bhagavan has talked about tremendous detail, and excerpts of which I will mention today with you. See, when we say guna, so we are talking about guna karma vibhag. Let me talk about guna vibhag first. Then I will come to the karma vibhag. So there are guna vibhag and karma vibhag. How they are involved in classifying individuals into categories of satoguna, chatur varna. So one need to understand the upalakshanam, that is the characterization, main characteristics of a particular guna. If one takes into consideration the main characteristic of one guna, one can differentiate between one person having the X guna or Y guna or Z. That means he whether is sattvic guna, whether is rajasic guna and tamasic guna. Let me at this time emphasize this point that we are all having these three guna. We are each one of whole in universe. Everybody is having composition of three guna. We all know that sato guna is the best, rajo guna is intermediate, and tamo guna is the worst. We all know that we should improve. Our first thing is to find where am I? How much proportion of tamoguna or rajoguna and satoguna I have? How one will know? This is these are the points which one should make note of and see whether one has these upalakshana in that. If that lakshana he has, if he has the lakshana of a sattvic guna, he is a sattvic person. If he has upalakshana of rajasic, he is a rajasic. If he has got the tamasic upalakshana, a tamasic. And one should then improve upon, get rid of tamasic as much as possible, gradually get rid of rajasic as much as possible, and remain in sattvic till such time one also able to discard the sattvic also. But that is stages. So these are very important points we should make note of. One should make note of. What is the upalakshana of a sattvic guna? Bhagwan has mentioned in chapter 14, verse 6, Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakasha kamanayam. Tatra, where sattvam, pure, is luminous. You all can see very clearly. Projecting light of wisdom. You can very clearly visualize Gurudev Maharaj. The moment you see him, you can see the effulgence coming out. The effulgence radiation, as you can see from the halo. Why there is a halo around Bhagavan? That is the effulgence, the brilliance, the projection of light coming out from the individual. He is so pure. He is luminous. There is nothing opaque about him. So that is the category, that is the character of a person who is sattvic. What about rajasic? The fellow will be lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam spraha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe bharatarsabha. Lobha, the person will be greedy all the time, trying to get this, more add on to all this water. He will be running about, active. He will not sit quiet. You see, the man who is sattvic, you will find him very quiet. He will not be making all running movement up here and there. All his activity will be very as little running about as possible. Very little. Here, the fellow is restlessness. Pravritti Arambha, his pravritti is there to all the time running up. Asamaha, he is restless. Karmana Arambha, see there, lobha, greed. Then Arambha pravritti, that is his activity going on. So, Asamaha, his restlessness. Aspraha, is longing. All the time he's greedy, activity is increased, is restless, is longing. These are the upalakshanam of a rajasic person. What about tamasic person? Aprakaso pravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamasye jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. He will be inert, heedless, in delusion, nothing will be clear in his mind. He will always in doubt. He will be heedless, will not like to move, will not like to get up from the bed and do work. He will be always slothy. So those are slothiness, inertness. He will remain in dark. He will not anything clear to him. All these are upalakshanam of a tamasic person. So this is the guna vibhag. If the guna is sattvic guna, then that is upalakshanam. Rajasic guna is that characterization. Tamasic guna, he has those characteristics. What about karma vibhag? When we talk of karma vibhag, again Bhagwan has divided into this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya and Sudra. In all of them, he is talking about Swabhavajam. Swabhavajam. All these four categories, each one have its own characteristic depending upon his nature, and that of course is carried to him from his previous birth. So that the characteristic, so according to that, his karma will be there. His activity will be depending upon his swabhavajan, and if these are his characteristics, then his karma vibhag will be Brahman. If these are the characteristics, his chhatra karma svabhajan, this is the Vaisya karma svabhajan, and this is the Sudra Shapi svabhajan. So all the four categories of people will have respective karma vibhag. He will be serenity, self-restraint, austerity, purity, forgiveness, uprightness, knowledge, realization, and most importantly, believe in God. These are the actions, these related karma. These are the karmas for duties of Brahmanas, as Bhagwan has mentioned in verse 42. What about Chhatra? Saurja, Tejo, Dhriti, Dacham, Juddhe Chaplayanam, Apalayanam, Danam, Aishwarjam, all these things are Chhatra Karma Svabhajam. He will have prowess, he will be splendor, firmness, dexterity, also not fleeing from battle, generosity, lordliness. These are the various duties of person. Depending upon his swabhava, he is a man whose karma vibhag will be that of a Kshatriya. Then Krisi Gaur Achivanijam. These are the three important things. He will be involved in agriculture, involved in cattle rearing, involved in Vanijya, in the trade, and these are the duties of Vaisya, while those of Sudra will be duties to serve, but mostly not skilled, non-skilled jobs are the duties of Sudra. They are the serving class of people. So this is the Guna Vibhag and this is the Karma Vibhag. According to Guna Vibhag and Karma Vibhag, all these 4 categories of people have been divided by Bhagavan. And so in this slide, I have categorized, put them in a table way so that one can talk of this Chaturvarnya, the 4 castes, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. They are guna. These are the guna for these classes. And the karma vibhag is over here, how they are. I will just hurriedly go through and then close today's talk. One thing I will, before leaving this, I will talk about this color. You see, you all know about the color of a guna. You know that when you talk of Maharaji, when you perform yajna, you have the 3-4 corner, you have got the जब वेदी बनाते हैं जहां आहुति डालने के लिए, so there are three levels. You have got the 3 levels. That is the lowest level is that of the tamasic, the middle layer is that of rajasic, and top layer is sattvic. And सफेद डालते हैं ऊपर में, white color, the wheat flour we put there, then the red in the middle one and the black one in the lowest one. I am sure you all recall this. You have performed yajna and you have been doing this. So the white color represents the color of the satogun, while red color determines rajogun and black color determines the tamogun. So one can, or somebody has tried to mention that this is the Varna class. That is depending upon the color. The Brahmins are white, Kshatriya are red, Sudra is black, and Vaishya is a combination. You can take it or not leave it. But importantly, those people who are Brahmins, they are predominantly sattvic. They have little rajas and trace of tamas. Kshatriyas, predominantly rajas, fair amount of sattva and trace of tamas. Vaishya, fair amount of rajas, little tamas and trace of sattva. While Sudras are predominantly tamasic, little rajas and trace of sattva. They are called Guna Brahman, Guna Kshatriya, Guna Vaishya, and Guna Sudra. And here they call Karma Brahman, Karma Kshatriya, Karma Vaishya, and Karma Sudra. Brahmins, they are generally intellectuals, they are high thinkers, they are in institutions, they are knowledgeable people, and they are engaged in studies of scriptures. Those Kshatriyas are the rulers, administrators, defense personnel. Vaishyas are manufacturers, businessmen, farmers, and traders, while Sudras are service-related, largely unskilled laborers. These are the division, these are the way Bhagavan has tried to put the various classes according to the guna and the karma. I will stop here. Thank you very much for learning. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasadji. A real analytical discussion today. We learn something new. Jai Shri Krishna to all of you. These are the festival time of Indian system. Diwali is coming. Have a good time for that. And we'll meet again Sunday morning and next Thursday. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Raju. You just being seen.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. Happy Diwali in advance.
Okay. Thank you, Birubai.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Geeta Kiran.
Jai Shri Krishna, Vilayaji. Good to see you.
Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. Bimlaji, Deepakji, Rakiji, everyone.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much.
Jai Shri Krishna.